Attached to this statement, if you go further from page 18, is a 2-page document that is referred to in this particular statement as Annexure VM1, and that would start at page 18. Do you so confirm?
Yes, I do.
And you stand by the contents of this statement as we sit here now?
Yes, I do.
Just to give you a sense of how we normally run our processes here in the commission, as a start, we give the witness an opportunity to speak to the statement that they have submitted. They have a choice of summarizing issues or reading the statement into the record as we go along, or in fact, a bit of both. During that time, you can expect not to be engaged or the facts that you attest to not be contradicted either by the evidence leaders or the commissioners. So you have a free run with the statement. You must, however, anticipate questions which we call clarification questions. The clarification questions will be based on what is contained in the statement, either in a particular paragraph or a paragraph considered in the context of another paragraph, just so you clarify what your eventual position is as regards a particular fact. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So when we start, then you will have the opportunity to relate your story as you choose, and as I said, you may read or summarize. Secondly, the structure of your statement is such that you respond specifically to the issues raised in the Regulation 10.6 notice that was served upon you. So you do so with reference to the specific paragraphs in the 10.6 notice. In your statement, you deal with your response to the specific issue in a certain paragraph, but you do not indicate what was asked of you. That's correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So to facilitate the appreciation of your testimony by future readers, where you indicate that you are responding to a particular paragraph, right, you say, at paragraph 2.1.1, please allow me an opportunity to read into the record what was stated in paragraph 2.1.1, and then we deal with your response there too. Okay. Would that work for you?
Yeah, it will.
Thank you. So if then we may start at paragraph 8, and before we do so, you should have page 8. We should have from page 1 to 7 the actual 10.6 notice that you had received. Please confirm that's what you have.
Yes, I do have.
Then each time we have to go back to the 10.6, that is the 10.6 I'll be referring to, and you are welcome to go to it just to satisfy yourself that I am reading into the record correctly what is set out in the 10.6.
Okay.
I invite you then to deal with your statement starting from page 8. I think it makes sense that you perhaps read the beginning and the first 4 paragraphs, and because from the 5th paragraph you are now responding, you pause thereafter, and then I will read into the record paragraph 2.1.1 of the 10.6 notice, and then we take it from there. Thank you.
I should start reading.
Please start reading, whichever works best for you, yes.
1 to 4, paragraphs 1 to 4.
Knowledge and are, to the best of my belief, both true and correct. I confirm that I was served with a notice in terms of Regulation 10.6 of the regulations of the Commission, and therefore I depose to this affidavit in response to the notice referred to herein. Where I make submissions of law, I do so on the advice of my legal representatives, which are advice I verily believe to be correct.
Thank you for that. You then have a heading at paragraph 2.1.1. That is paragraph 2.1.1 of the 10.6 notice, which, as I indicated, starts from your page 1. If we could then refer to page 2, the first 2 paragraphs are the standard preliminary introductory comments to the notice itself. But you were requested from paragraph 2.1 to provide comprehensive background information, including, and you start with paragraph 2.1.1, and the question to you was whether you have previously been convicted of any offense by a court of law in South Africa, and if so, full details including dates of conviction and nature of the offenses. You deal with that at paragraph 5. Please read your paragraph 5.
I confirm that I have previous conviction of housebreaking and theft to which I was sentenced to an effective 8-year prison term. I served 18 months of this sentence and I was subsequently released.
We then turn to the next question and the 10.6 at 2.1.2, where you were asked whether you have ever been charged of any offense and charges were later withdrawn against you. You are required to provide details of the charges and dates when charges were withdrawn. You respond to that particular request at paragraph 6.
I can confirm that I was previously charged with offenses that were later withdrawn. I attach here to as Annexure VM1 a list of the offenses that I was charged with which were later withdrawn.
And you confirm that the VM1 you reference there is the document appearing from page 18?
Yes, I
page
do.
18 and page 19?
Yes, I do.
These are the matters you were previously charged with, but all of which were subsequently withdrawn. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. The next question to you was at paragraph 2.1.3, asking whether you are currently facing any charges, and if so, the nature of those charges and dates when you were charged. You deal with that question at paragraph 7 of your statement, if you could read that.
I confirm that I'm currently facing 2 separate pending matters as set out below. I have a pending case in the High Court of South Africa, Johannesburg, under the case number SS98/2025. I was arrested and charged by members of the PKTT on the 14th day of May 2025. I've been indicted on charges of attempted murder and money laundering, which trial commenced on the 20th day of July 2026 and shall run until the 18th day of September 2026. I am also facing a case that is pending before the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court under case number A16/212/26. I was formally charged with corruption and money laundering on the 24th day of March 2026. I place on record that this matter is with respect to a health risk tender awarded by SAPS to Medicare24 20 Pty Limited. I confirm that the time of submission of the bid and the subsequent award of the tender, I was the sole director of Medicare24.
Thank you. At paragraphs 8 and 9, you respond to the question posed at paragraph 2.1.4, which reads thus: when and how you first became involved in the security business and the health sectors. If you could then read your response, which is reflected at paragraphs 8 and 9.
I first became involved in the security business on or during 2017. I became a director of CAT Protection and Security Pty Ltd trading as CAT VIP Protection with registration number 2017/177122/07. I became involved in the health sector by means of registering my company to the Central Supply Database in order to participate in the provision of services to government entities. By virtue of being registered on the CSD, my company will receive requests for quotation from the Department of Health, as this is the sector in which we had indicated as our field of trade on the CSD. It is then that company will provide the requested quotations and thereafter, upon success, provide the requested services.
Before we leave paragraphs 8 and 9, just to clarify, at paragraph 8, you deal with the company CAT VIP Protection and you give the registration number. At 9, you deal with involvement in the healthcare sector and you say you did so by means of registering your company Just to clarify, is this the same company you registered, or is this a different company?
No, it's not. It's not the same company. It's not the same.
It's a different company?
Yes.
Would you recall off the top of your head the name of the company?
Yes, I do.
Yes, if you could provide that, please.
Black AK Trading and Suppliers.
Sorry, I missed that. Please say that.
Black
Yes,
AK Trading and Suppliers.
thank you. And would you have a recollection of when that registration on the central supplier database took place?
I'll say around 2018.
2018. Thank you for that.
Yeah, ma'am.
And I do accept that you're speaking off the top of your head.
Yes.
So, thank you. We then, in your statement, moved to the question that was posed at paragraph 2.1.5, which was whether you have other business ventures outside of the security and health business, and you provided response at paragraph 10.
I place on record that I do not have any other businesses outside of the security and health sector.
And if I may just clarify, your participation in the security and health sectors is specifically through the two companies you have named. Are there any other?
Yes. Yes.
Just the two?
Yes.
Is it not three? Medicare, Cat Protection, and Black AK?
Well,
Or are we only dealing with health and not security?
no, I'm dealing with both health and security.
So it would be three.
The Medicare 2420.
Medicare, Cat Protection Services, and Black AK Trading and Supplies.
That's for the health sector. And then CAT VIP. Do you understand the question,
do.
Mr. Matlala?
Yes, I do.
So you confirm that's just the three
Yes.
companies
Yes.
you reference at paragraph 7.2, 8, and 9. You had no other companies through which you participated in the health and security
Yes, I
services sectors.
Yes.
Thank you. Then we turn our attention to the question that was posed at paragraph 2.1.6 of the notice, and the question required you to provide an explanation of your interactions or business engagements with state entities such as the South African Police Service, SAPS, and Ekurhuleni Municipal Police Department, EMPD. You are required to provide details of any companies or organizations in which you have an interest which conducted business with state entities. These details should include their establishment, business activities directors, and any joint ventures or contracts within the state. Your response to that extensive request is in your paragraph 11 at page 10. And it's got under the heading SAPS, and at your paragraph 11, you address the issue, your relationship with EMPD. So let's first deal with your paragraph 11, which is specifically directed to your dealings with SAPS.
My company, Medicare, was previously contracted by SAPS to provide health and risk-related services. I place on record that the Medicare tender has since been terminated. As already alluded to above, I'm currently facing a criminal charge which is pending before the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court with respect to the Medicare tender. In light of the current pending criminal charges referred to herein, I'm unable to comment further on this matter in that I do not wish to give evidence that may lead or self-incrimination, and therefore I claim the privilege against self-incrimination. However, I do, wish to assist the Commission as best as possible. Safe to say that I am unable to comment on matters that are sub judice. I'm in any event entitled to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. I'm advised that this is a well-established legal principle which affords protection to accused persons in criminal matters. The exercise of my right to claim privilege against self-incrimination should not be viewed as an obstruction or unwillingness to assist the Commission. But please.
Before we turn to the issue of EMPD, just what you have stated in paragraph 11, if you are able to explain the extent to which you invoke that privilege, is it entirely in respect of your engagements and dealings with SAPS, or are you confining yourself specifically to the Medicare24 contract?
It's in relation with the Medicare24 contract.
Specifically, you confine yourself there too.
And anything that will have to be connected with the Medicare24 contract.
Anything that will be connected with that content?
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
yes.
Then, at paragraph 12, rather, you then deal with the issue of EMPD.
Yes.
If you could read your response.
I place on record that none of my companies were ever awarded contracts by EMPD, and that the only business that was concluded was for no financial gain, in terms of which we threw one of my company's CAT VIP protection providers.
On that issue, you haven't provided it, but are you able to, if it exists, to provide any documentation in respect of the security services you provided to the former mayor? Would you have any documentation in respect thereto at hand?
No, I do not have any documentation.
Okay. Then you go to the issues.
Sorry, Mr. Matlala, we have evidence, I hope I'm not mistaken, that your company provided security at a state of the city address in Eguruleni.
Yes.
Was that a separate incident, or is it what you are referring to here?
Yeah, this is what I'm referring to.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And before perhaps we leave that point, when we do get to the point of engaging you, I trust you'll be able to give more detail regarding specifically the security services you provided to the former mayor at a later time.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Then at paragraph 2.1.7, the notice required you, with regards to the SAPS contract awarded to Tshwane Medicare24, to explain the circumstances in which you came to submit a tender for the SAPS health risk management contract, including any engagements with SAPS members, whether or not they were involved in the bid evaluation adjudication process, the management of the contract once you were awarded the tender, and any gifts, sponsorships, gratification favors that you provided to any member of SAPS after you were awarded the tender. That's reflected at paragraph 2.1.7. You deal with the contents of that at paragraph 13 at page 8, if you could read that.
As already alluded to above, the SAPS and Medicare contract is a matter in which I have been criminally charged and currently attending court, and as such, I'm unable to comment on the question posed on the paragraph under reply, and the basis is that I do not wish to incriminate myself. The Medicare SAPS tender is a subject of a criminal court case, as already alluded to above. I remain an accused in that matter together with my company, and as such, evidence is still to be led in an open court with respect to this matter. I'm entitled to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, and also not to answer self-incriminating questions, especially on such a complex matter that the state has already preferred charges against me.
That would then conclude the list of questions asked of you under paragraph 2.1 of the 10.6 notice. The notice then moved on to paragraph 2.2, which had about 7 sub-questions. You deal with that from your paragraph 14 and into paragraph 15. The questions set out in paragraph 2.2 are lengthy, but basically they required you to explain or provide an explanation on the history or relationship, whether direct or indirect, with certain persons listed in the Schedule A2 the 10.6 notice, and you were requested as you provide that information to answer specific questions relating to such relationships set out in paragraphs 2.2.1 to paragraph 2.2.7. Your response, as I say, starts from paragraph 14, and if you could read that into the record, and then from paragraph 15, under different 4 sub-paragraphs, you deal with your relationships with different persons. So when the time comes, we will take it in terms of each individual identified, and then we'll read that particular portion into the record. For the moment, I invite you to deal with paragraph 14.
The following.
So are you not going to do what you've been doing, which is to read, so you won't read 2.2.1?
The 2.2, the question really is at 2.2, to explain your history and or relationship, direct or indirect, with certain listed officials. Then it required him, in his response, to provide the following information: when and how you met each individual, the nature and description of the relationship, the nature and extent of and frequency of communications, the nature, extent, and frequency of physical meetings, whether you have exchanged information with such persons, and whether he has been offered gifts, gratification, money, and whether he has been requested or been offered any favors by any of these individuals. So the questions listed from 2.2.1 is in respect of each individual listed in Annexure A. And that Annexure A appears from page 7.
Okay, all right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
So if you could then.
Tim Kosingema, Brigadier Patrick Natengwe, Brigadier Kesti Yonker, Brigadier Petunia Riabezu Linono, Brigadier Onika Offensive Tlwadi, Colonel Anton Paulson, Colonel Natsenge Johannes Munyai, Colonel Nonjabudo Nomfundo Mgadi, Colonel Tumisho Nehemia Maleka, Captain Brian Neville Cartwright, and Major General Busisiwe Precious Temba.
You then, from paragraph 15, deal specifically with 4 people. At 15.1, you address matters of your relationship with Minister Senzo Mchunu. At 15.2, you deal with your relationship, if any, with General Pashani. At 15.6, misnumbered as 14, at 15.6 is your relationship with General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. At 15.3, Lieutenant General Molefe Fani. And at 15.4, with Major General Feroz Khan. And that concludes your testimony in regard to the relationships, the relationships you have with the various persons listed at Annexure A. You confirm that?
Yes, I confirm.
Now, looking at your paragraph 14, you have listed 13 persons there that you say are your co-accused in the Medicare24 contract.
Yes.
And you request, in extending your privilege, that you not be required to comment or testify about any relationship you may have with any one of them.
Of course.
So, if we go to page 7, though, I realize that if one has regard to the 13 that you request that you not be questioned about because they are your co-accused in the Medicare24 contract, we'll look at those you deal with at paragraph 15. It still does not conclude the list at page 7. Would you please go to page 7 of that file?
I'm on it.
I'll give you an example. Your item 5 requested you to speak to any relationship you may have with Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibia. Item 8 requested the same of Lieutenant General Sintu Mule. 9 with former General Tema. 10 Major General Leseja Sinona, and so it goes. So there are persons in Annexure A that you have not included in your statement. Why is that?
Yeah, these are the people that will be added in the supplementary affidavit.
Why did they not form part of the statement? Because you do not explain, at least as far as I can see, in your statement,
They are not
that
ma-
you will, if I may just complete this, that you will be addressing the remainder of the persons identified in Annexure A at a later stage in a supplementary affidavit.
Yes, I was just only referring to my co-accused. So these people here are not my co-accused.
No, sorry, perhaps I wasn't very clear. I'm saying, if we look at the people at 14, you say these are your co-accused.
Yes.
But then you go further at 15, you deal with others who are not your co-accused.
On paragraph 15.
From paragraph 15, 15.1 to 15.4. As I read them out, it's Minister Senzo Mchunu, that's not your co-accused.
Yes.
Former General Pashani, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, Lieutenant General Fani, and Major General Feroz Khan. So besides the fact that you don't deal with the ones you say are your co-accused, which is a different issue, you appear to have made a selection from Annexure A as to which relationship to talk about. And I point out that, for instance, you completely ignored the request that you talk to your relationship with Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibia, who's listed under 5, to Lieutenant General Kosi Sentumule, listed under 6, and Major General Sinona, under 10, former General Sandra Tema, under 9, Major General Shibiri, under 12. So my question was, besides the fact that I hear you will not deal with your relationship with your co-accused, you have gone further to make a selection to deal with only 5 of the remaining persons whose names appear on Annexure 5, and have chosen to ignore completely the other persons, with no explanation in your statement as to why that is the case. And I'm inviting you to explain to the commissioners why that is the case.
I will say is because these people, in my supplementary affidavit, it will explain further why I didn't include them now here. So because there are some reasons, I did that deliberately because I have reasons why I did not include them. But only those reasons will be found in my
the relationship you have with the respective persons to be included in your supplementary. The reasons I'm requesting is why they don't form part of this particular statement. And then you don't have to elaborate on the relationship you have with each one of them.
It will have to do with the recordings which I'm disputing. So I did not want to add them now because I have to now dive deep and explain why I'm saying I'm disputing the recordings, which we still have the transcripts that we still need to transcribe again because of some of them are unofficial transcripts.
So then if I understand you correctly, and I don't want to misunderstand you, anyone appearing at page 7 that you have not dealt with, it's your submission that they are to some extent impacted by or involved in the recordings that you intend to dispute.
Yes.
Is that the
Yes.
basis? I hear you. And that will become apparent when you submit your supplementary statement.
Ms. Sillo,
Chair.
are you not in a position to itemize all of the names that have been excluded? Because what you've done now is to give examples.
Yes, we are able to.
If it will take time.
No, it won't, Chair. Perhaps
right,
I'm thinking of the
please.
best way to do it.
All right.
It would be to read the listed paragraph 7, and then we start with where he has itemized at paragraph 14, and then I'll relate it to the item number. Mm-hmm. Then I will call out those that are dealt with in paragraph 15, and then it will become apparent then who else is remaining. Mm-hmm. So it will just be a quick exercise of. Okay. So if we.
And sorry, Commissioner, to disturb. I actually wanted to ask clarity because I see here there is on number 20 on page 7.
Yes.
Number 27, there's a Sergeant Zungu.
Yes.
So I don't know, because I do not know Sergeant Zungu, but I know Captain Zungu. So I don't know whether the commission made a mistake or what. So I couldn't comment on this, not knowing whether it's a mistake or not.
I'll try and clarify that for you.
Okay.
So I will highlight Sergeant or Captain Zungu as a specific case.
Okay.
And it's because it was unclear to you, as I understand it, who the commission was referencing. So I'll come back to you with clarity, and then you can deal with that
Okay, fine, thanks.
in the supplementary. Chair, then the quick exercise, I think the best way to go about it is to use Mr. Matlala's statement at paragraph 14. At 14.1, he deals with General Masemula. Now, the request that he deal with General Masemula is item 3 on page 7. It's followed by Brigadier Rachel Macheng, and Rachel Macheng, Brigadier Macheng, is item 14 at page 7. The next is Brigadier Alpheus Teminkosi Ngema, and that is item 15 at page 7. That's followed by Brigadier Kirsty Jonker, that's item 17. 14.7, he deals with Brigadier Onika Ufenze Kwayele, that's item 19. That's followed by Colonel Anton Paulson, that's item 20. 14.9, it's Colonel Natsenge Johannes Munyai, that's item 21. Followed by Colonel Nonjabulo Nomfundo Mgadi, it's item 22. I was then requested to comment on his relationship with Colonel Tumisho Nehemiah Maleka, that's 24, item 24 at page 7, followed by Captain Brian Neville Cartwright, that's item 25, and lastly, Major General Busisiwe Temba, that's item 13, item 13 at page 7. I note that at paragraph 14.13, Mr. Matlala refers to the Major General as Temba with an H. The page 7 is Temba without an H, so we accept that perhaps our spelling may have been wrong. He intends to, it's correct, Mr. Matlala, you intended to talk about the person listed in item 13 of page 7, notwithstanding the difference in the spelling of the name.
Honestly, I don't know his surname, so I don't know whether it's a spelling error or not.